Hello and welcome, y'all. Today we're going to be taking another look into Dune Awakening. So we've gotten a lot of information over this last week, and I kind of wanted to just dive into it a little bit, just to basically recap, go over some of the highlights that that really stood out to me that I enjoyed and I'm excited for. Kick back, relax, get y'all snacks, and we're about to get to it. The first thing I'm going to take a look at is the announcement for the pre-orders. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at just some of the highlights from that video, and then we'll talk about them real quick.
Hi everybody, my name's Joel Bylos and I'm the creative director on Dune Awakening. Soon, we're going to be opening pre-orders for the game, so today I'd like to talk to you about our post-launch plans so that you can make an informed decision about your purchase. The key things that you need to know about Dune Awakening's launch are that it will not launch in early access, and it will not have a monthly subscription. It will receive regular free updates, including new content, new features, and quality of life improvements. And in addition to these free updates, we will offer optional DLCs. We will be releasing major free updates expanding the story and adding new content and features. And with each major update, we will release a DLC. There will be an option to buy a season pass, which includes several DLCs, but you'll also be able to buy them standalone when they release and as they release. Some editions of the game will also include a head start of 5 days starting on the 15th of May. Sure, this allows people to get into the game early, but it also helps us to make sure that we can balance the server load as people come into the game through launch for the best possible experience. And players who want the fresh start experience will still be able to play on new servers which will launch when the game launches on the 20th of May. Our benchmark mode is also still live if you want to check how your PC will run the game before you pre-order. Thanks very much for listening. I look forward to seeing you all on the sands of Arrakis.
Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and take a deeper look into some of the things that Joel said here and what we already know about the pre-orders and what you can get with them depending on which pre-order you go with. So if you go with the standard pre-order, you do get a couple of rewards still with this. You get the Terrarium of Muad'Dib, which looks completely adorable. 100% excited for this one. You also get the Sunset Die Global Swatch, which basically is a die that you can use for your weapons, vehicles, armor. So that's pretty awesome. Now, if you go to the deluxe edition, you get what we've already listed there, but you will also receive a 5-day head start, which means you will be able to play the game starting May 15th instead of having to wait until the 20th of May. So you definitely get some extra time there, which is freaking awesome. The next thing you get with the deluxe is going to be the season pass. So the season pass includes 4 DLCs. The first DLC will contain some placeables inspired by the wildlife of Arrakis, including Shai Hulud himself, and 3 next DLCs will be released later on as we go. So we'll learn more about those as we get closer to them, I'm sure. But for right now, obviously, we're not going to have a lot of information for those. You do also get the Sardakar Bator armor, and if I butchered that name, I do apologize. This armor is basically the elite military force that players will find themselves being hunted by in the game. So it's a pretty badass looking armor set. I actually really do like it a lot, so that's pretty cool. We do get that. The next set that we have is the Ultimate Edition. So the Ultimate Edition, you do get everything that we've already discussed previously. The additional items you get are going to be the Dusk Rider Sandbike Swatch and the Blue Dasher Ornithopter Swatch, basically changing the colored patterns of those vehicles, which is awesome. You do get the Dune 2021 film stilt suit. So it's basically the stilt suit worn by Paul Atreides in the movie, which is pretty cool. You also get the Caladan Palace building set. So you do get building pieces with this, and there was clarification posted about what these pieces are. So you basically get the walls and the ceilings along with placeables, an extension of the Atreides building set in game, which is really nice. So that's exciting for sure. You get the digital art book and the digital soundtrack as well, which the soundtrack, the music that I've heard so far is beautiful. So that's actually, I'm really excited for that soundtrack. It's going to be really nice. For sure. The cost for the basic edition of Dune Awakening is $49.99 US dollars. To pre-purchase the deluxe edition, it is $69.99. And then for the pre-purchase of the ultimate edition, it is $89.99. I know some of you may be curious or even a little bit concerned about what the system requirements will be for the game, so we'll go ahead and take a quick look at that. So to get the ultra, like the top tier graphics in the game, you are going to need to have at least the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4070 or an AMD Radeon RX 7800 XT with 12 gigabytes, and you will need 16 gigabytes of RAM across the board, regardless of your settings beyond that, and you'll need 75 gigabytes of available space on an SSD across the board, minus the lowest setting, which is only 60 gigabytes. Then you have the lowest, so the oldest graphics card that could probably handle the game on the absolute lowest settings. You're looking at a NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1060 or the AMD Radeon 5600 XT with 6 gigabytes. I can say that the low graphic settings, that's what you have available. It does suck, but the fact that they have already optimized the game enough to be able to handle a lower end graphics card like this is actually pretty awesome in my opinion, because there's so many games coming out now where these graphics cards are obsolete, like they're not compatible, they won't work at all. But then you have Dune coming out where if you have the top tier, you're golden, you're good, it's gonna look amazing. But even if you don't, that's okay, you can still play the game. It just won't look as amazing. So that to me is awesome, that right off the bat, lower end graphics cards are still going to be able to play the game and enjoy the game. There's always the benchmark that you can run through Steam as well. That is still available for download. So if it's something that's a concern to you, especially, I would highly recommend going ahead and downloading that and running it on your PC to see what you're looking at as far as how your computer can handle the game. I want to touch base on one other thing just for clarification as well, just because I know a lot of this information could come through as a bit confusing because it's a lot of information. With the head start on the gameplay on the 15th of May, for those who purchase the Ultimate Edition and the Deluxe Edition and get the 5 extra days, what's going to happen is there's going to be a set servers for that as far as the Haga Basin and the Deep Desert. What will happen is on the 20th, there'll be another set of servers that are opened up. So anyone who wants to play on the previous servers that have already been going since the 15th, as long as there's room, more than welcome to. If you don't want to, if you want to start fresh, you certainly can. You do not have to join servers with people that have been playing for 5 days ahead of you to where you're kind of left behind or whatever. You do have the option to start fresh or join other people that have already been playing. And the way the servers work are you have multiple Haga Basin servers, right? And each one has a limit of about 40 people at max that can be on those servers. Once you have this group of Haga Basin servers, they all link up to one Deep Desert server. The Deep Desert maps are massive. As you can see in this chart here that I'm going to show, it shows a reference for how big Haga Basin servers are and then how big the Deep Desert is. So it's multiple Haga Basins per Deep Desert, which is insane. You're looking at hundreds of people piled into the Deep Desert, and the Deep Desert is massive. It's bigger than Barbados, which I actually find funny on this map comparison. There's so much to look forward to for the coming weeks for Dune Awakening. We're getting more and more information as we get closer to it, so keep your ears peeled, your eyes open. We're gonna have more videos coming for Dune, so make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss any content that's coming. Again, I appreciate y'all so much for all the love and support. I do have a link in the top right to another one of my Dune Awakening videos for you to check out if you would like. And remember, I will see you soon, and you are awesome!